Roll. All right. One big
failure to launch there.
Failure to launch, yeah.
As usual.
Yeah, as usual.
Oh, is it time to talk to the camera?
No, Hey guys, so one of the top questions we get is, where do you guys get all your guns? And where can I get some of those? So we figured it'd be time to show you our armory. Now see, we're gonna do something cool with this, like Hitman Blood Money style, but until then, it's just a giant pile of weaponry. What we use in our videos are what's called airsoft guns, which are basically replica guns. These aren't, they shoot 6mm plastic BBs. Basically, there's three kinds of airsoft guns that we use for our movies. You have Springers, which are all plastic, and they'll usually run you like $15 or $20, and they're nice because people can just be holding them. They can be in holsters. You can throw them around and nobody cares because they're plastic and they're relatively cheap. The next step up are what's called gas blowback airsoft guns, which is a little more expensive. They'll be about $80 to $120 for the cheaper ones. You basically load them up with propane, and when you fire them, they'll blow back like that. And then we add, the gun sound, the smoke, the flare, and that's how we do pistol shots, because they do that and it's kind of cool and cinematic, and it makes it look like, the actual gun is going off. Another type of gas blowback gun that might be a little bit easier to find if you're in the US and you have a sporting goods store nearby uses CO2 cartridges like this. One of the brands that we've used is the Crossman GameFace brand, and they're actually pretty good because for an actor, CO2 will kick harder than the propane ones that you get at airsoft stores. And let me take a look here. And see, it's much louder, and then for an actor it's a lot easier to sort of mimic. It's a lot easier to mimic sort of the kickback because it actually is kicking back a little bit harder. For the bigger stuff like rifles and shotguns, you basically have two choices. You can go pretty cheap. Like this is about $30, and this is an all plastic spring shotgun that, as you can see, looks pretty cool. Running around with them, they're so light, and since they're made out of plastic and they kind of look cheap, you can't get too close up with them with the camera. So for rifles, these are probably the most expensive. These are what's called AEGs. They usually are in the range of like 180 and up. These ones are a little more fragile. You don't want to kick them around as much, but they are the best looking ones, and they are pretty heavy, so you actually get weight with it.
Now, I want to, one important thing to point out here is basically every single time we made an action scene, there's always like a litany of comments that are like, oh, there's a little gun continuity there, gun continuity there. The reason for the gun in continuity is because basically for the shots in which people aren't falling, we're using our good, like, expensive guns, and then when it comes time to take the fall, we reach out, we take the gun away, and we find a plastic one that looks as close as possible and switch it up.
Or we'll take off things like the optics and stuff because those things are in some cases more expensive than the gun itself. So places to get airsoft, you can go online. There's sites like evike.com, there's Airsoft Atlanta, there's a bunch of sites. Just Google it, guys. Otherwise, if you really need to get your airsoft fix right away and you need it prop right away, check out sporting goods stores in your area. If they have a paintball section, odds are they'll have an airsoft section. And the ones that you get in sporting goods stores, like the gas blowback pistols, which will be about 60 to 100 bucks, those will usually be running CO2. So depending on what part of the world you're in, the airsofts that you have may come with regulation orange tips to sort of show that they're replicas and not real guns. For the movies that we shoot, we'll usually just tape over them or use permanent marker. Usually use like electrical tape, something with a sheen on it, and then we always are sure to remove them when we're done. And because then once you put the tape on, it looks like a real gun, it's always important to let everybody know around you that you're filming with prop weapons, that they aren't real. Post signs up, call your neighbors, make sure that your neighbors aren't going to call the cops on you, because the last thing you want when you're making a movie for YouTube is to get your local SWAT team drawing down on you with your hands in the air. Don't want to do that. That's actually bad.
We did an audition one time, and one of the things for the audition is we're like, we want to test your gun handling. Like, are you familiar with this gun? And they're like, yeah.
Yeah, of course. I know I use guns. I use guns all the time.
We're like, okay, here it is. Take a few practice shots with it. So you've got a lot of experience using.
I've used guns all my life. I know. Yeah, my dad used to take me out shooting. Yeah, just
hold on. So we're gonna do a little exercise here. Basically, I'm gonna give you the gun, and you do just take a few practice shots. Pick some targets, aim at them.
Yeah, no worries. All right. Okay, here we go.
So you've done some training?
Oh, dude. Oh, yeah. Like just now, guns like my extension of my body at this point. If you have a gun and someone has a knife and he's within 21 feet of you, supposedly you can't kill them before he gets you with the knife.
If you're completely not expecting it, your hands, you got your gun, it's in your holster, you're not paying attention, and suddenly a guy charges at you. If he's within 21 feet, he's gonna get to you with his knife before you can draw on him and kill him.
Just hanging out. know about that rule. Oh.